If you're a happy pilgrim, fresh back from Manchester, then welcome along. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got lots to talk about. We are joined by Rhys and Jaden on 20 minutes of Where Pilgrims Walk, reviewing all things Plymouth Argyle. We're recording this before the crunch game at Hull, unfortunately. So if you're tuning in to talk about that game, we'll be doing that next week. But more importantly, just for now anyway, let's just celebrate the greatness of Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup this season. One of my favourite messages from tweets that we saw was from this one. On behalf of all the footballing world, the Premier League, up and down the country, you stopped Liverpool winning the treble. Thank you so much. We will never, ever forget you. Of course, we're talking about the Argyle pride in that Manchester City game. We're talking about Magic Maxi as well. Also, getting back to domestic issues, we're choosing our February Player of the Month for Argyle, and we're looking ahead, of course, to the end of the season now against that Leeds game. What's going to happen? And also, which playoff final would we like to be sat watching once all said and done and Plymouth have survived? But before we get to all of that, welcome back, Rhys and Jaden. How was your Manchester weekend?
Yeah, it was good actually. I travelled up Friday, had a few drinks and some. Well, Manchester's got an awful lot to offer, so a few drinks, and yeah, it's a good weekend.
Absolutely. The pride, I think, is the word that keeps coming through on all these messages. Grumpy Locus says I'm so proud of my club. Went to one of the giants, and we were not disgraced. Jaden, is that how you feel coming back? I know you're lost and you're out of the cup, but there's some coffers in the kitty, and you have shown the world what Plymouth Argyle can do.
Absolutely. Like Chris said last week, I think he said if we went 1-0 up and we lost 6-1, then he wouldn't care. And it was a bit like that, when we scored, we'd had our moment. 5 minutes later, we just thought, we've had our moment now. We can go home happy. And to be fair, what an unbelievable performance throughout the whole of the game. So yeah, definitely worth the trip, and yeah, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
Cup run.
Yeah, just talk us through when you won that corner though, Jaden. I mean, it was the first corner that you had. I think it was the first time you'd stepped foot over the halfway line. Just can you describe your emotions in the 10 seconds that followed that? I mean, we've all seen the limbs video. That's just incredible. Can you put it into words? What you're feeling at that moment when the corner goes in?
You just can't believe what you're seeing, can you? Like you're leading at the Etihad. I don't think anyone expected it. You see all these clips going around on social media. People calling it. People who got lucky filming it, and all the celebrations and stuff like that. But yeah, what a moment for everyone who travelled up. It just made it all worth it for that brief moment.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching a pub full of neutrals, and the pub just went wild as if it was a pub somewhere in the back streets of Plymouth. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And Ross sums this up here, says, "You'll never take that 1-0 moment away from us." The absolute carnage in that away end. Rhys, where were you? And talk us through how you felt.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the third tier, which made me feel sick being up that high. I was quite glad I didn't have too much to drink before the game. But it was just, I don't remember what happened after that. As soon as it hit the net and you realise where you are, what's happened, it was just carnage. It was people you've never met before jumping on you. And I think that's what makes it so good. I think that's what I love about it. It's just, you're hugging random people that you've met half an hour before when they arrived at the stadium. But yeah, it was brilliant, and it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life, and you'll tell your kids and your grandkids and things like that. So, yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Just Nick says the best weekend away with my sons and very good friends. Unforgettable experience of going ahead and a gutsy performance against an unbelievable squad of players. Proud is scarcely sufficient to describe how I feel. Let's keep this up, keep this going, and stay up. And of course, we can't really rest too much because, as I say, we're recording this just before Hull, and arguably, Jaden, that's a much bigger game, isn't it?
It is. They keep coming as well. We got another one on Saturday against Derby, which we'll obviously talk about in a minute. But yeah, there's some absolutely massive games coming up, home and away, in the next few weeks. and all of them are probably more important than that City game. But yeah, we'll have to see what comes, and hopefully we're going to have enough in the next few games to put us in a better position than we are now.
Yeah. Was it slightly ruined going into that game at 5:45, knowing that Luton had won?
No. No, for me, I think I'm not too worried about what the three in the relegation spots are doing. It's more what that group just outside the playoffs. I wish it was playoffs. Just outside the relegation spot were doing. Yeah. I think Luton winning it, it might give them a boost, but I can't see them getting out of the problem they're in. To be honest, I think they're
Yeah, we'll talk about the Sheffield Wednesday game in a second, but let's focus on the hero of the hour. And well, there's many heroes of the hour, but we're going to talk about Maxi. What a player! Unheard of. Obviously, when you first signed him, Rich says, I heard Superman wears Maxi pajamas to bed. And I'm sure you've caught his interview afterwards. Very emotional. And there's a campaign, I think, to get his family over for the Leeds game. So I've read as well, which is, I mean, we're going to fully get behind that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Bring his dad over here for that final game. Given it's incredible he's not seen them in such an incredible long time. Rhys, can you sum up Maxi in a couple of sentences?
He's different class. I mean, you go and spend money. We've said it for years. You spend money on a class player, and he is the best 1.7 million this club has. Well, we've never spent that sort of money, and it shows. Like Whittaker was a good signing at $1 million, but he seems like I genuinely. I know there's a clause in his contract about if we go down, then I think he moves on for the same price or something like that. Even if we stay up, I genuinely can't see a way where we keep hold of him. I can't see a lower league Premier League team, an Everton, or even look at Man City. They're struggling with the defence. Do they look at a young Championship defender? I don't know. I can't see someone not going in and bidding silly money for him.
Yeah, there was this picture taken. Who knows what could happen? Jaden, some people are saying, look, he's actually going to be the difference between us staying up and not. He's that good. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, him and Katic. I thought actually in the Cardiff game last week, I actually thought Katic probably had a better performance than him. But then, oh my God, that City game, how good was he, Maksym? But yeah, like the majority of the games, probably most of them so far, he's been unbelievable. And he's definitely going to play a massive part in us staying up compared to the first half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great run, this FA Cup run, hasn't it? Knocking out Brentford, knocking out Liverpool, and then going toe-to-toe with City. Absolutely. As Chris Sweet says, great run the FA Cup. We were lucky to have 3 home clubs. We can now fully focus on the fight for survival. I think you've won a lot of more neutrals over, hoping Plymouth do stay up. Rhys, have you seen enough from this side in that game and in recent weeks to suggest that you will now?
I think that my concern is oddly actually the games with the teams owning around us.
Yeah.
Seems strange, but I think the direct play almost suits a team who's willing to step out on us, like Man City did, who want to have the ball, we're willing to have the ball, because it allows us that space in behind. Cardiff was just two teams hoofballing it, and it was counteracting each other. I think we've got Norwich coming up. We've got Sheffield Wednesday who are going to want to step out on us. I think those games could be the ones that actually could turn the tide for us.
Yeah. We saw a Leeds fan tweet, actually, they're saying, look, I hope we're done and dusted by the time we go to Plymouth so we can just put our flip-flops on and let them stay up. Class act. Right, let's talk about Sheffield Wednesday then. Jaden, it's fair to say that Sunday game of the opening day of the season was probably one of the worst footballing performances Plymouth have put in for a while. Do you owe Wednesday one for that?
Yeah, we need to win, really. But that's because of the position we're in now. I don't think we really owe them anything. It's probably not even our worst performance this season. To be fair, there's been a few, hasn't there? But But yeah, we definitely need to win or get a good result this weekend. I think win is the only real thing we need, to be honest. And I think it's a game that we can win. But it'd be nice to win tomorrow evening and not have to stress about it too much.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this goes out, the game will have finished, Rhys, so it
Yeah.
feels redundant in talking about it. Is a draw not good enough at Hull?
No. Wow, I don't know. You can't. It's another one we can't lose. Another 6-pointer in it. You can't lose it. For me, it's the biggest game so far this season. If not, it will be the season. It could be a season defining.
Yeah.
I think you look at it. I think Cardiff and 6 points clear, and so are Hull if they win. So I think it then starts. The task is a massive hill then.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's probably the biggest game and might stay that way.
Okay. We'll review, of course, all that with us next week and the Sheffield Wednesday results. So join us for that. But yes, just a final word. Thank you for the entertainment in the FA Cup in recent weeks. Also this week, then we're also choosing our February Player of the Month. So let's do that. First of all, with you watching, if you could drop a comment right now as to who you think should get it. We try and do the one that is not going to win it for the club. We try and pick someone that's going to go a little bit unsung. Jaden, who gets it this month for you?
Nikola Katic for me. I think he just wins headers every game. He don't stop winning headers all game. He'll go for anything. He wins every single aerial battle. That Cardiff game for me sums it up. He was unbelievable in that game, like he has been the rest of the month, and that City game as well, which I know wasn't obviously in February, but that Liverpool game as well. Obviously, one of the best defensive performances we've seen in a very long time from Argyle. So yeah, the Katic for me.
Brilliant. Rhys?
Yeah, I think we've spoken a lot about Maxi and Katic, but I think we've also forgotten about Poulsen.
Yeah.
The way he has played this, well, under Rooney, he looked like a competition winner to play football. Now he looks like a real footballer again. But then also at the other end of the pitch, I think Bundu is really shining. I think he started every game in February. He looks like a entirely different player, and it is, yeah. So for me, it's probably between the two, but for me, probably Bundu.
Okay, two good shouts there. Let us know in the comments who they may have missed. And finally, this week, if you remember, if you were here last week, we were talking about which three sides we'd love to see the back of. This week, we're being a little bit kinder and asking our fans here to put two teams up into the playoff final in Wembley. Let's imagine now it's all over. You've won against Leeds and stayed up on the final day of the season, and you've now sitting in a beer garden in Plymouth looking at any of these potential teams to play in the final. Now, the EFL have announced it's going to be on Saturday, the 24th of May in Wembley. But who do you like to see, Rhys? Not who you think, but who would you love to see? Who deserves to have a combat at Wembley?
I think I'd like to see West Brom in there. I think they've had a few problems with owners over the last couple of years, and they're now coming out the other side of that. And a nice little club, nice big club there. And I struggle with the other ones because I can't say Bristol because it's Bristol, innit? Possibly Norwich, maybe. We've got Mumba off them, so
okay.
Possibly Norwich.
Norwich West Brom final. Jaden?
Sunderland and Coventry for me, I think. Coventry always seem to sneak into the playoffs, and I think they might get to the final again this year. I've also got a bit of a soft spot for Chelsea and Lampard, and he's doing very well at Coventry at the minute. So yeah, hopefully they can make it, and I think Sunderland they often get to the playoff final and bottle it. So I think Coventry will go up, beating Sunderland in the final.
Good shouts. Right, let us know in the comments what you think to that. Right, well, good luck against Hull. Yeah, it's all sin done by the time we finish. And good luck against Sheffield Wednesday this weekend. We'll see you in 7 days' time. If you've just come across the channel and found it for the first time, we're glad to have had you along. Please press the subscribe button down there. That always massively helps any channel grow, particularly if you're a Pilgrim fan and proud of them. Come back and see us in 7 days' time as we review all social media was saying positive, negative. Thank you, Rhys. Thank you, Jaden. Have a great week, everyone.